If you are pregnant or you've recently had a baby, this podcast is for you. I am your host, Kath Bequee, a physiotherapist working in women's health and mum of three. Inside my online program, Fitness Mama, I just love helping support women to care for their bodies during pregnancy, prepare their bodies for birth, and support their after-birth recovery, helping them feel confident and strong inside out during this important stage of their lives. In this podcast, join me each week as we dive into all things pregnancy care, childbirth, and postnatal recovery, helping you through every step of the journey. It is absolutely possible to feel amazing and confident in our bodies during this motherhood journey, and I want that for you. Come and say hi to me on Instagram @fitnessmama, and let's dive into today's episode. Hello and welcome back to the Pregnancy, Birth and Recovery podcast. So today is a super quick episode. It's a listener question. And this listener was asking me, how did I fit in exercise around young babies and toddlers? So just for a bit of context, they have an 18-month-old toddler and a 3-month-old baby. And they're finding the adjustment to, as a mother of two, challenging, and she's not getting in the exercise that she had hoped at this stage of motherhood. So she asked, how did I personally do it? So I thought, I wanted to share this response with you all, and I did have to, it's very much at the forefront of my mind, even though my babies are now big and my youngest is 7. It's a 7, 9 and 11-year-old. At the time, I had a 4, 2 and just a couple of months old. So I was in a similar situation to her. And it is absolutely hard. So I'm going to run through 4 ways that I personally fit in exercise around babies and toddlers so that I could prioritise my exercise. And I'm just going to start off by discussing 2 things. One is motherhood is challenging. We all have our own road to motherhood. We all have our own postpartum recovery journey. We all have different ways we've responded and our body has responded to birth. And the adjustment period is different for everyone. So everyone is different. This is just my personal experience. And also when I talk about exercise during pregnancy and after pregnancy, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you'll know that my program, Fitness Mama, and this podcast, like everything I do and teach and talk about, it's nothing to do with getting our body shape back. I never discuss our body shape. And that's for a reason, because for me, exercise and recovery and investing in our postnatal rehab, it goes a lot deeper than that. And sure, our body shape and size might be one of the resulting factors of exercise, but for me what's important is feeling strong so that we're not achy and sore, so that we've got the energy to run around with our kids, so that we've got the confidence to jump on the trampoline without leaking, run in the waves and, jump in the ocean with the kids. So this is where it all stems from. So everything I'm discussing today, it's not about losing weight. It's about reinvesting back in our body, because as I say so much on this podcast, pregnancy and birth is one of the biggest things we go through, our body goes through in our lifetime. The impact on our body is huge, like our pelvic floor, our core, physically, mentally, emotionally, like hormonally. There's so many, having a baby is bigger on our body than having a knee reconstruction. But after a knee reconstruction, it's very common for people to have rehab, and after a hip replacement people have rehab, and that's very commonplace, which is fantastic. And this is what I want to become commonplace after birth as well. Like, we all deserve a period of postnatal rehab. So this is 4 ways that I fit in exercise around my babies and toddlers at the age of a few months old, 2 years and 4 years. Okay, firstly I was fortunate enough to have a very supportive partner, and they weren't always around, so I'm going to discuss ways that didn't involve my partner soon. But firstly, I would sit down well, when I had the chance and the headspace, would have a chat to my partner about when they might be able to come home a little bit early from work, or when they did come home from work, when were they able to just take the kids for 30 minutes and I could either leave the house and go for a walk or lock myself in a bedroom to do a workout. And sometimes it wasn't even workouts. Sometimes it was some beautiful stretches to help my body feel better. So involving the partner, it was huge for me, whether or not it was in the morning. They would give the kids and the babies breakfast or in the bottle, whatever it might be, or maybe I'd done a breastfeed and then pass the baby on to my husband to change a nappy while I did a little bit, even if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes of exercise. So I didn't set my standards very high. I just tried to fit in something either before they left for work or when they got home from work. Okay, and I do just want to say, sometimes the day would go to shit, so to speak, and things wouldn't pan out and I'd have a bad night's sleep and things didn't go according to plan. But on the whole, that's when things were going well, that is what I would do. And actually, an upcoming episode is going to be, there's 5 traits that I find strong mamas have. So that's an upcoming episode, so stay tuned for that. Okay, the second way I found really helpful to fit an exercise around babies and toddlers was to pre-plan. I've already talked about this, but pre-planning, putting it in the diary, putting it in the calendar, the phone calendar, scheduling it in is so important. And those mums that use the Fitness Mama app, the mums that log on and are really, I guess, for want of a better word, successful or are really happy with their recovery are those that have prioritised it, those that have pre-planned, and those that know, for example, every Monday morning at 9:30 they're going to log into the app and do a workout. So pre-plan. So number 1, involve your partner if you can. And not everyone has a partner. So maybe you could involve a close friend or a family member. Like, have a think about who's in your life. Number 2, pre-plan. Number 3 is fitting it in with your lifestyle. I really think this is a stage of our life, and this probably should have been number 1. Like, what is easy? What is achievable? What isn't really challenging and something that you've grown at the thought of doing? So, for example, when I was at this stage of motherhood, I couldn't for the life of me fathom driving to the gym, doing an hour-long workout, driving home again. Like, that would take an hour and 20 minutes out of my life, out of my day, that I just did not have. I would much prefer a 10-minute workout at home, 15 minutes here, 5 minutes there. That's how I kept it achievable personally. Everyone's going to be different, but that's what I did. And that was one of the seeds behind developing Fitness Mama, was actually making sure we had the access to these quality workouts, these postnatal rehab workouts that we could do from the comfort of our home, because we don't all have the luxury of being able to go to the physio clinic to do clinical Pilates. It's quite expensive. We don't all have the luxury of having an hour and a half to go to the gym or whatever it might be. So have a think about your lifestyle. What is easy? What is achievable? And number 4, let's say my husband would, for example, do a lot of travel, wouldn't be home till late. I couldn't always rely on my husband. So what I found on these days was I involved my babies and toddlers. I didn't try, my number 1, what I loved to do was have my own headspace and either do something by myself or get out the house by myself, but that wasn't possible. And more often than not, it wasn't possible. So involving my babies was my second best option. But it was also really fun. Personally, I'm not the mum. I could never put my baby to sleep and then exercise. Like, my baby's nap time was sacred. That was the time I wanted to have a cup of tea, scroll Instagram. Like, that was my time for me. Or perhaps I was catching up on 1,000,001 other jobs. So what I would do was actually involve my babies in the workouts. And I actually became, especially by my 3rd baby, I became good at involving my babies in all the tasks that I needed to do around the home. So, for example, I would do a workout with my babies, kicking around on the mat. I'd do some squats holding my babies. And actually inside Fitness Mama, we've got a whole module, Mums and Bubs workouts, because I really think this is important. And then after I'd done my workout and we'd have some food, I'd fed them, done whatever with them. But often I have distinct memories of always doing my laundry with my baby. So folding my washing or with them, they would come to me, put it away inside all the different cupboards and bedrooms. Sure, it wouldn't get done perfectly. It would take a long time to do, but I would try to do my jobs with my babies and toddlers and involve them as much as possible. And then once I'd done what I wanted to do, then I would get out the house and do something fun for them. Or sometimes I'd flip it and actually get out the house first, wear them out, take them to the park, let them have a run around, and then in the afternoon for the quiet time or home time, I would involve them in jobs, whether or not that's them helping me bake a cake or make dinner or exercise toddlers. But that was just what ended up working with our household. And you might have something different that works for you. And I think this is part of matrescence, the becoming of a mother. Like, we don't suddenly become a mother overnight. It took me years and years, and we're still evolving. Like, it's a never-ending evolution. So there you have it. I personally fit in exercise. Number 1 was involving my partner. Number 2 was pre-planning and pre-scheduling, because then mentally it's in my headspace. Number 3, I fit it in with my lifestyle. I worked out what was easy, what was achievable, and that's also taking into account how tired you're feeling. So, for example, if you have a bad night's sleep, you might want to do 5 minutes of beautiful stretches in the sunshine in the garden outside with your kids, rather than doing whatever workout, a more hardcore workout that you're used to. So fitting in with your lifestyle is so important. And number 4 was involving my babies in the workout. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. I guess the goal of this is for you to get the creative brain juices flowing. You might think none of that works for me, but perhaps it sparked a few other ideas of what could work for you in your lifestyle. But if you would like help with exercising from the convenience of your home, with the convenience and the quality physio-created workouts, if you want to invest the time for your postnatal rehab, then our 7-day free trial might be exactly what you need. Head to fitnessmama.com and the link is in the show notes. My DM, my inbox is always open. Instagram at Fitness Mama. Come and ask me any questions at all, whether or not it's about the program Fitness Mama or whether or not it's about your personal recovery journey. I'm always happy to help or try to point you in the right direction. That's it, ladies. Short and sweet. Have a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you again or chatting again next week for another episode of the Pregnancy, Birth and Recovery podcast. Thanks for listening to the Fitness Mama podcast, brought to you by the Fitness Mama freebies found at www.fitnessmama.com/free. So please take a few seconds to leave a review, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and be sure to take a screenshot of this podcast, upload it to your social media, and tag me at Fitness Mama so I can give you a shout out too. Until next time, remember, an active pregnancy, confident childbirth, and strong postnatal recovery is something that you deserve. Remember our disclaimer, materials and contents in this podcast are intended as general information only and shouldn't substitute any medical advice, diagnosis or treatment. I'll see you soon.